we're going to make our first Simulink circuit. So we need to open Simulink. So as long as you're on the Home tab, right here you can see Simulink. Click on Simulink, and in a little while you'll come up with the start page. Click on Blank Model. Blank Model will come up, and we need the library. So this is the library right here, this symbol. So click on that, and it'll take a little longer for your computer. Mine already had it loaded. So the first thing we need is a voltage source. So if we look at our library, it looks like this when you first get in, when you first open it up. And if you click on SimScape and then you look on electrical, these are the elements, some of the elements that we're going to be using. So we want to go to electrical sources, and we're looking for a DC voltage source. So I'm going to drag that. I just clicked and dragged that into my window here. And the next thing I need is a resistor. So I can look at electrical elements here and find a resistor. And we can find one right here. And again, I drag that in here. And my resistance, I can type right here, I can type 1000. And that'll give me a 1000 ohm resistor. Now I want to turn this, so I can rotate it. And I know on my Mac, I can rotate it by clicking on Command R. So I'm assuming in Windows it would be Control R, and you can see I rotated it. You want to make sure your positive side of your resistor is going to match up with the positive side of my voltage source. So I'm not going to connect this just yet because I want to put my ammeter in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the bottom side over here like that. So now I've got the bottom side connected. A few things I need to add when I have a circuit using sim electronics. This is like a physical system, and I need to be able to connect it to some of the simulation tools that Simulink provides. So a couple things I'm going to add. First is an electrical reference. So you can see how I already have it typed in. If you're not sure where something is, you can type it in and look for it, and I can see it's right here. So I need a ground or electrical reference. So I'm going to connect that here. I also need a problem solver, a solver, in order for it to be able to run this simulation. So I'm going to type in solver and see what I get. And you have to click on enter for it to find it. And if I scroll down, solver configuration. So I'm going to drag that in, and I'm just going to connect it. Notice I click off of my item, and then this little tiny box appears, and that's what I'm clicking on to connect. So I've got my solver. Anytime you're running anything with SimScape or Sim Electronics, you need this solver configuration. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a current source. So the other way I can get an item in here is I can just click somewhere in the window and start typing. So I'm going to look for current source or current sensor, and I can bring that in. Notice the positive side of my current sensor and the negative side. I click off of the element, the little connectors appear, and notice I'm also connecting my current sensor in line, right? I've broken the circuit and added my current sensor. I'm going to look for a voltage sensor too, so I'm clicking in the white area of the window, just click, and then voltage sensor, it comes up. Now notice here too, I am connecting the positive to the positive side of the resistor and the negative to the negative side of the resistor. These little tiny dots here that I connected to are for the physical circuit. These little arrows are for the simulation. So in order to get some information from the current sensor and the voltage sensor and then display it, I need a converter. So this converts my my electrical signal to a simulation value. So this is going to be physical system PS to Simulink converter. So you can see the little arrows match up, and I can plug that in. Now I need another one here for my voltage sensor, so I can also click and then copy and paste. So that's what I just did there. Those are connected, and now the last thing I want is a display. So I clicked in here and I typed display, comes up, and I connected that here. I do it again over here, display, and I connect this arrow here. And now I've got my circuit. I have my power source and my resistor. I have my ammeter in line, and I have a voltmeter measuring the voltage across. These are extra just to convert my physical system values to something Simulink can read, and then my displays should be here. And I need to save my program, so I'm going to click on Save. You can create in MATLAB, you can create a folder like that. This is how I created a folder called SCDV 230 and then the year. I'm going to move this to 2017 and just call this my, so one resistor circuit. Save that, and now I'm going to run it. And you can see I have the value for my current, right? And the value for my voltage. So you can see that I haven't, my voltage must be 1 volt, but let's go in and look. If I double clicked on the voltage source and it says 1 volt, if I want to make it 5 volts, I can change it here. If I want to change my resistor, we set it to 1000 ohms, but I'm going to set it to 5 kilo ohms, right? In this menu, hit OK, and I can run it again. I get the same current, which makes sense, and 5 volts. So that's how you can make a circuit and measure its values and simulate a circuit in Simulink.